Well. This kind of sucked. I was wanting to do my first live stream now. I was going to do it unannounced and just be a surprise, little test, 5 minutes or so, something like that, just to see how the chat goes and all how that works. Don't expect to chat, not with no no advanced warning. But so anyway, all right, our regular intro. Hello, Diet Rebel Scum and Diet Rebel Scum Curious. Diet Rebel Scum being those of us who have taken the government recommended food pyramid and said to hell with that. We're not doing that anymore. We think it's making people sick. Okay? Everything on here is my opinion. And like my warning says, I'm not an expert in anything. Question everything I say. You do you. That's how I always believe. You do you. I don't care if you're a vegan, breatharian, vegetarian, whatever the hell you're doing right now. If you believe in it, you do it. I don't want to stop you. So, just a little check-in. I have still, to this day, not had an ice cream binge since I started this channel. And it's freaking awesome. And I owe this to you. I am a very, very, very small beginning channel. And I want to say a special thank you to my very few subscribers. I noticed I gained one. I am up to, as of this date, three. I appreciate all three of you. You are early adopters. And I really appreciate that because I've seen that too. Some early, very small channels, you got somehow they do get recommended. I watched a video about getting your channel bigger. There's a bunch of YouTubers that just do that, tell you how to YouTube. And so I was watching one of those today, and the guy said, the algorithm of course, and everybody would just assume the algorithm treats tiny channels much different than it does big channels. And he talked about this one phenomenon that was really funny, and it's a human thing. When it comes to a small creator like myself, just a very you're seeing junk behind here. Oh, by the way, I've got a curtain coming. That's all going to be covered. I'm going to cover that closet with a curtain. So, okay, I digress. The algorithm and people's behavior and stuff when it comes to chatting. He likened this human how people. The subject is this is how people behave when there's a big channel with lots of comments on a live stream versus a channel with very, very few comments and very few views. He likened that to going to let's say a farmer's market. He used a farmer's market where everybody's all these vendors, selling their stuff, have their own little tents set up. And he said people's behavior is different when there's a vendor set up and there's 10 or 15 people gathered around at the table. You feel as an individual, you want to see what's going on at that table. You have no problem just walking right up because you're one of many people and you don't stick out or anything. And the person, the person behind the table, that's selling their stuff may or may not even notice you even arrived, and are looking over and looking through see what's going on. But how do you feel as a customer, when you go walking up to a table at a farmer's market and nobody's at the table? It's just you and the person that is selling their stuff. Well, that person that's selling their stuff notices you and is going to, want to talk to you and all this. So there's more social pressure there. And so he said that's the same thing on a young YouTube channel, with very few viewers. Anybody that comments to your channel when you're real tiny like that, they know you're going to see it, and it's like you're like that person that doesn't mind going right up and addressing somebody, a perfect stranger, like at a farmer's market. It doesn't bother you. In other words, I think is where he was going. So he said, you should really appreciate those people. Those are the early adopters that are really interested in what you're doing or whatever your niche is, And I was like, and I already knew this. I had actually been thinking about that over the last few days. So I feel the same way, when if I've commented on on a YouTuber's, and I have, when somebody's just got like 3 comments on a video and it's only got 50 views, and if it was posted pretty recently, that person is probably still watching, going to be watching for comments and things. So when I go and comment, yeah, you likely are going to get a comment back, and that's what I'm trying to do right now. So thank you to you early adopters. Love you. Okay, what I just want to share on this, I was going to do this quick live stream. Oh, and I didn't tell you why. This was going to be a live stream. I went to go live, and when I clicked go live, this countdown timer started, and I think it's 24-hour, and it said you requested to go live, blah blah blah, in at whatever time, and it was now, and it said something about checking some things before I can go live. So apparently it can't tell if my channel's eligible right now to go live. I'm pretty sure it is, because I have an old channel that I watch all my other, everything else I watch on that channel. Use that channel for my YouTube viewing, and usually I just stay on this one to do the creation and checking what you all have to say. But anyway, so I guess I got a 24-hour waiting period before I can go live. I guess that's to keep crazy people from just getting on real quick and, spouting all kinds of crazy stuff. I don't know. I like it when people spout crazy stuff. We're all considered crazy. Boy, this lid's tight. Okay. Oh, I got one sugar thing admission to admit to yesterday. So we did my morning run, and ended up going like just a little over 6 miles, and averaged 8. Shoot, I already forgot what it was. 8:40 something pace. Yeah, I'd like 8:43, which is what I'd like to do the next marathon in Salina, Kansas, this November. Anyway, damn it, I lost my train of thought again. Anyway, I'm going to buy shoes today. It is like Christmas in July. And this is what I'm after. Super Blast 2, ASICS Super Blast 2. I've never had the Super Blast. There is a Super Blast 1. I think they just came out with this one. It's supposed to have some improved cushioning and a few other things. But this is in my genre of road running shoe. And I've never paid $200 for shoes, not for running shoes, for sure. I think I paid over $200 for, like, was it steel toe work boots or something? Long time ago. Anyway, so these are supposed to be, they do have super in the name, but they're not this new genre of running shoe that I refuse to get yet. And that is damn it, they just call them super shoes. It's got this has Super Blast in the name, but there is not what I think differentiates a super shoe versus a regular running shoe is a plate. They'll either have a carbon fiber plate or a plastic plate sandwiched in the foam up here, like in the forefoot area, maybe midway back. I'm pretty sure that's about where the plates are. Maybe the plate goes a full length. But anyway, it acts as a spring. So when you land, you're flexing that plate, and it springs back. It's like running on a freaking trampoline. So, the running times, records being broken. It's really strange. It's kind of funny because racing shoes used to be these tiny, almost wearing nothing, minimal cushioning because they're trying to save every little ounce. And now it's so funny to see these world-class marathoners. Back in the day, they used to wear these racing shoes that looked like nothing. Now they're wearing these big-ass pillow, high stack height. I thought these were the dumbest looking things, when they started going like super thick stack height on running shoes. I mean, I'm a little vain. I mean, I'm not the best style person, never have been. But, I always wanted to look cool. I didn't always get it right. Who does? Well, people with good taste do, but I'm not one of those. but yeah, I when they started, I think it was Hoka's were really the exaggerated stack height, and the way they even do, they could disguise all that cushioning if they wanted to with a little bit of color, striping and stuff. It's almost like sometimes they're trying to make it look thicker than it really is. So anyway, I've just gotten to where I don't care. So I shied away from these maximal cushioning shoes for quite a few years, but now since I've got the neuropathy problem in my forefeet area on both feet that came up in 2021 mysteriously and has never gone away, I have to have very, very plush shoes because the nerves in my forefeet areas will get really on fire. Can get, yeah, they're extremely sensitive. And it's really debilitated my running quite harshly. But I've been swapping shoes over and over, and I don't know if I've mentioned that my neuropathy issue on this channel yet, but it is one of two health concerns that came up in very recent years, quite suddenly, mysteriously, without any change in behavior at all. But yeah, that's one thing I got to take into account. That's why the $200 price tag on these. Most of the time, I'd be looking in the $150 range. 165 is what I paid for the last pair of shoes. The Asics Gel Kayano is what I've been running in. I think I'm getting close to 600 miles. I need to check my Garmin gear stats. But yeah, 600 miles, very close. But they still feel plush when I step into them, but I don't know, that doesn't you can't. It's sometimes hard to tell when cushioning's beat out of a running shoe. You just kind of generally feel fatigued. Your legs after your runs, you're just like, you feel a little bit beat up, but you may not have noticed because the cushioning degrades over months or however long it takes for you to put a lot of miles on your shoes. And anyway, I think it's time. So I'm waiting for that. To have a run, I'm going to call it a breakthrough run. And I've been doing a lot of speed work recently, get my leg turnover faster, trying to get my VO2 max to go a little higher. Garmin seems to be real stringent in upping those VO2 max points. So apparently I'm not doing something right, and I know that it's not as good as going to the thing where they put you on a treadmill on a mask and measure your carbon dioxide and all that stuff. That's all right. I don't mind a little estimate as long as the estimate is consistent. I don't care if it's accurate on the money number wise what it reports, but I just want it to, if it goes up, I want to know, am I really like getting a higher VO2 max, or is it really decreasing? So there's tricks to that in training. But I've been trying to get faster, and I'm waiting to have what I would call a breakthrough run, because it happens sometimes if you ask a runner. It's not talked about very much, but I've thought about it a lot over the years, where you go out, you've been training, and you think, okay, I should be getting faster or feeling better on hills, whatever it is you've been trying to focus on. At some point, you run these repeat hills, or you do these sprints, or repeat quarter miles, whatever it is you're doing. You do this array of workouts to try to get that feeling in your next race, or not next race, but when you go out for a casual maintenance run, and you hit those hills, and let's say you were wanting to get better at hills during your casual runs, are those hills not gassing you out as bad as they used to? And one day you discover that's the case, and that's the breakthrough run. That's what I'm talking about. When a runner goes out for a run, and they feel and see on their watch the results of all that training, and they're like, wow, it's really happening. I have not had a breakthrough run over the past 4 freaking marathons I've run. And I've been training, and each of these marathons, my training was more consistent, as far as numbers of miles running per week, and because I'm kind of following my running partners, it was invited to join them for runs, and that's what I'm doing, and that's keeping me consistent. I'm running at least I'm running at least 3 days a week, and doing a pretty decent effort, or a specific effort for those 3 days for sure. And then I've been adding in a fourth and sometimes a fifth. I've been doing these speed workouts in between, and I'm waiting to see, hey, am I having a breakthrough run where am I getting back to where I was a few years ago when I was running consistently? And I should be able to get in that neighborhood. Now, I was not that fast. That's why. And not only should I get to where I was, I should surpass it. I should get a lot faster, and I should be, at local road races and stuff, I should be easily placing in my age group, if not placing. Not place. You don't officially place in different age groups, but I want to be beating a lot of younger people that don't train as hard. You know what I mean? I'm just expecting what a decent in shape 53-year-old should be able to do. And I don't feel I'm there. For whatever mysterious reason it may or may not be. But okay, so I've worn my Gel Kayanos out, and I need some new shoes. And I think those are the ones that I'm looking at after watching some reviews and seeing some statistics on them, and the little machines bouncing on the heel, talking about the return and everything. There's some pretty neat info out there about running shoes. Anyway, okay, that was it. I was just going to do a quick live stream, and now I've turned into just been rambling. But it is about running, and I need to talk a little more about my running, and I keep stepping on my headphone cord. See, I've got a lot of work to do in my creation of my studio, which is actually in an old bedroom. A spare bedroom. It's same age as the house, so whatever old, loosely. My curtain's going to be covering this. I think I mentioned that earlier, yes. But, yeah, old spare bedroom, walk-in closet, office. This tiny room serves a lot of purposes, and it deserves some love, and I'm going to give it some love here when I get my curtain. I need to repaint this window sill. I got a window right here to my left, so while I'm talking to you, I can look out and see my yard that's improving. I'm cleaning up my backyard. I've got a canoe, a kayak, lumber that I've reclaimed to save to build things. I hate waste of good materials. So I had a neighbor tearing down a deck that he had, and all the lumber was stained and weather, and he was dismantling it, and he was going to put it out the curb, and he offered it to me. He yelled over the fence. I was mowing my lawn, and he said, "Hey, Stevie." And he's an older gentleman. He yelled over, "Hey, Stevie, you want to use any of these boards? And they're like, some of them like over 8 feet tall, real straight 2x4s, all stained with this red deck stain, whatever." And I was like, well, yeah, because if I needed long 2x4, which I build stuff, I'm a jack of all trades, master of none, do-it-yourselfer. And I was likely to use 2x4s here and there if they don't have to be brand new white pine from the store that I'm going to stain a different color or something. And so I've got a bunch of that shit. I am rambling. I've turned this into just a personal. This is the kind of stuff I do on Facebook, not on this theme channel. Okay, I need to be respectful of your time. I'm going to stop this. If this was a live stream and people were talking at me, if somebody was talking at me, it would be okay. I wouldn't feel so bad. But now I'm just drawing you along for nothing. This is therapy for me. But all right, that's it. Until next time, let's make this another low carb day.